episode of Conversation. And guys, if you haven't done so yet, remember to subscribe and click the bell below to receive notifications. Now, today's featured guest, some know him as the Popcorn Man, and others know him as Phillip Kellman, the musician. Without further ado, let's go! Alright, so we're gonna get right into it. Can you tell us how it was for you growing up? Where did you grow up? Tell us a bit about it.
So I grew up. Well, I was born in Caricom Village, first of all, and I left Caricom Village when I was about 2 years old, and I grew up in Ellerton, St. George.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent majority of my life there, and then I moved to St. Thomas in 2007, I believe, or 6, and I've been here ever since. Growing up was fun. That's the truth. Typical country boy. Under the leadership. I want to say leadership of my father, who's a pastor. And around my brother, who's a musician, well, singer, songwriter, and my mother, who's a cook.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very simple, cool life. That's the truth. It was quiet for most of the time it was quiet. But I had a simple life, man. Country boy stuff, running around the fields with animals. It was a basic country boy life. Country boy church life.
All right.
Put it that way.
That's cool. So you said that you grew up in Ellerton before you would have moved over to St. Thomas. So
Yes.
tell us about where'd you go primary school?
So I attended Erdison Primary. It's no longer Erdison Primary though. That has since then been fused with Carrington's Primary,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure there's another one as well, but that's now the George Lamin Primary School.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So it was a combination of Erdison and Carrington's Primary School, and I think some other primary school. I'm not sure the name of it, but they fused together to make one school.
Okay, great. All
Yeah.
right. So you would have mentioned before that you went to Ellerton Wesleyan
Correct.
church, boy. Tell us how it was in terms of growing up in church,
Church.
having to, as the pastor's kid, having to be there.
Mm. Right. The fortunate thing, right? My father was not the typical father. It may sound strange, but although he was the pastor,
Mm-hmm.
he gave my brother and I a lot of rope, as the people usually say. But we were able to make our own decisions,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not we continued church or not. But I believe we had a great foundation, and that foundation lent a hand in our continuation of the church life, put it that way. And it was obviously there is some scrutiny for being a pastor's kid,
Mm-hmm.
but all eyes are on you. You're supposed to be the perfect example of the Lord, but we had our challenges as PKs, but we had a good foundation. That's the truth. We had a good foundation, so it was easier to maneuver through the rigors of the church life. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're a double PK. You're a pastor's kid and you're Phillip.
And Phillip Kellman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have told us about going to primary school, but tell us a bit more about where you went to,
Yeah, so I attended Leicester, like you said, and then to college, and I majored in graphic designs.
So what caused you to do graphic designs? What's the reason?
Now, the funny story, right, is that that was not my first choice, My first choice and my first love was architecture.
Okay.
I really wanted to be an architect, but being an architect requires physics. And me and maths and physics don't really get along too well. So my next option was graphic designs. I always loved art, so I just applied that strength to graphic designs.
Okay, so almost
Yeah,
perfect thing. So, what would you say is one of your most memorable moments at school or college?
college. Oh, there's so many. Um, so many. Well, what is coming to mind right now? We had a guerrilla marketing project, and guerrilla marketing is basically um, overemphasize marketing to get a message across, right? So you do some very bold things to get the attention of your audience, right? So we were looking at STDs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my group decided to create the sexual organs of the male and female and depict that of an infected person, and we had a trail from
Graphic at all.
one side of one side of the college to the other side, and these very large replicas were on the wall of the college, created a stir. That was a pretty fond memory.
I'm sure that at least the message got across. It was hard
Oh,
to
it did, it
miss.
did. Trust me, it did.
Alrighty. So, going back just a little bit,
Mm,
what was your journey like towards, being saved? So you would
see,
have grown up in church and everything, but
mhm.
what? Tell us about that journey.
So I didn't have a road to Damascus type journey, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like it wasn't safe on drugs and gun violence and that kind of thing, but I always stress the story that God kept me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth because I had the same challenges as any other kid growing up in church. I've since then seen some of my friends fall victim to crime and violence and drugs and stuff, and that was never my story. And I can only attribute that to God's hand over my life. So
Mm-hmm.
I had my challenges as a Christian young man. Don't get me wrong, but I never wavered too far off. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I am.
It was difficult because my parents were divorced, so going through that entire process was challenging as a
Mm-hmm.
Christian young man. Um, and I could have rebelled. You know, that's the truth because pressure causes certain things to happen. But I would definitely say that God kept me, and had not for Jesus, I would have been probably not here. But yeah, that's my story. God kept me. That's the truth.
Amen. So, you know, what we usually do this at the end. But what
Mhm.
what would what encouragement would you give to that young person who is out there who is a
Mhm.
Christian but they've been struggling?
Mm. I would say that the world offers nothing beneficial. It may look beautiful on the outside, but the truth is Jesus is the real deal. Let me put it in layman's terms.
Mhm.
Um, the world causes you to search and search and search and search and provide an answer which requires you to search even more and then search, and you never really find what you're looking for. You know, the word of God says not to store up treasures on earth, but in heaven, because this will pass away. The things that we um, strive to attain will pass away. It will fade. You're gonna die. You're gonna leave things behind you.
Mhm.
Um, so I would always advise anyone to look to Jesus. It may sound very cliche, but that's the truth. The world. I've heard many stories, many stories of people who are celebrities, who are wealthy. They have lots of material things, they have possessions, and they have money. And a lot of them commit suicide. So it just goes to show that money is not the answer. Material things don't bring happiness, you know. And that is a perfect picture of what the world offers you. If you look at music videos and if you look at ads and billboards, they always paint this very beautiful picture of the person with the yacht and the big house, and they feed our minds with these images that represent success and represent happiness. But the truth is, we see it is not true. We've seen it several times. Several celebrities have committed suicide, turned to drugs, overdose. You know, we've seen it. So the world is not going to offer you anything valuable. That's my final answer there.
It's a very good answer. That's true.
Yeah.
Look to God, look to Christ, and I think
Yes.
that's
Yes.
a very good answer. Now, who would you say, apart from Jesus, is your
Mm.
favorite Bible character, and why?
Wait.
Yes.
Hmm. I would say Moses.
Okay.
Now, Moses had a speech impediment, and when I was growing up, I found it a little bit challenging speaking as well, because my family, we tend to speak really, really fast. So everything is all in one. This is one sentence here in one, right? But you know, God showed him that he should not let that deter him from carrying out the will of God. You know, carrying out his purpose and leading the people into the promised land. He was an average man. He was not Moses, the most, you know, the great Moses the great, or the most reverend Moses. He was a man. And although he was born into wealth, right? He had a God had a plan for his life, and he was obedient. And the speech impediment did not hinder him from being great or connecting deeply with God, you know. And I can relate to that, because although it was challenging growing up, speaking and doing public speaking and trying to get my thoughts out verbally, I knew that God had a plan to use me, and he ended up using music through me. So that's why I would consider Moses my one of the main influential characters for me in the Bible.
Okay.
Mm.
Good answer. So we know of Philip as the popcorn man,
Mm.
Philip K, musician,
Right.
the artist, and many other things. So we're gonna start off firstly. You own the island Karen. Can you tell us
Yes.
about you know, what led up to opening this business?
No, this is
Yeah.
a very give you want to give you the short version of it?
Give me your version, whichever one
Give
you
me my
think
version.
best one.
All right, so in 2015, probably the beginning of 2015, I told my girlfriend at the time, Amina, her name was Amina, that I have a great idea, or brilliant idea to start a business, right? We're gonna make popcorn, but we're not gonna be just we're not gonna do this basic thing. We're gonna take it to another level, right? We're gonna be the popcorn people in Barbados, right? And we sat and we brainstormed. We came up with a name. We had the full brand, everything before we even had the popcorn machines, right? Two young, ambitious young people, and it was just a thought. But I decided within myself that it's not gonna just be a thought. or an idea is gonna happen. It's gonna really happen. And I saved, and we bought the machines, and we knew nothing about making popcorn. So we were so excited, and didn't know where to start. So we threw away several garbage bags full, I kid you not, of popcorn. That was horrible. um, but no, we I remember our the what's the word? Our breaking point. Almost breaking point. And at that time we were at Raleigh. You know, saw Raleigh Barbados, right?
Yeah.
And we set up in faith, Shanice. We set up in faith because we had no idea what we were doing. Right? And we had mastered, I believe we had mastered the butter flavor, right? But the caramel was horrible. So we set up at Raleigh, would never forget. And we began to pop this thing in faith. And it was so horrible. But you know, it's good to have friends who are encouraging, right? Because they sat and they ate every piece. I said nothing, right? And I knew it was bad. they they were what you call right or die friends, right? So this is how God worked, right? There was this lady, I cannot remember her name. I think her name was Miss. Oh gosh, what was her name? I got a lovely name in my phone. She brought her popcorn machine to Raleigh as well. She came over and saw what we were doing, and it just so happened that she forgot her kettle home, so she couldn't do any popcorn. And this lady, God bless her soul, decided to help us, right, and to show us what to do. And from that day, I tell you not, from that day, we had the basic idea as to what we need to do for this caramel flavoring. And we got it. You know, after a few tries and a few errors, well, a lot of errors, we mastered the flavor. But it just goes to show, she could have brought her kettle, but thank God she forgot her kettle, and thank God it may sound strange that she was not able to pop popcorn, so that we were able to get that information from her. Yeah. And that's how God is work. That's how God works. So we were massive for a while in the car park on weekends, and our contract, let me put it that way, our verbal contract was up. So we were just there. Fast forward a little further, Amina and I broke up a couple of months, a year after that. And it was just a broken business because they didn't have any place to go, and a broken relationship. And we started the business together. So imagine that breakdown from both ends, relationship and business. It was rough. But God kept telling me that I needed to go to my customers. Now, I wasn't aware at the time what that really meant. But then it dawned on me to create a mobile unit that would literally be able to go to the customers. And I tell you this, Shanice, I took all of my life savings I put into this thing, you know, in faith, because this is what God told me. And I just moved in faith. So all the life savings went into the thing. And I remember the first day I went back to work with this mobile car, I was so afraid. I wasn't sure why I was afraid, but I was afraid. Well, I was sure. I was sure. I was afraid, one, because I wasn't sure if the car would survive on the road, right? So I kid you not, I left the first day. I left at 6:30 in the morning because in my head, all right, well, I'm not gonna have any encounter any traffic on the road, no cars on the road, so I can leave early. Man, I left the morning early with some coffee, and I was on this mission to sell the best popcorn. And I remembered I went. You know the Bobab Towers, not the Bobab Towers, the Barat Building
Yes.
up by Massey. So on the side of the by the car park, there's a, a fairly tall sidewalk where you would see the vegetable vendors. So I decided I'm gonna park on top of there, right? And I was there for like, let me say, a week, almost a week. And a lady came to me, Shanice, and told me that she doesn't think that it would be wise for me to park there because Mr. The owner of the land is gonna tell me to move.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Jeez, on brothers, I made a back out, fresh and ready to go, and I gotta leave again." And Shanice, a kid, I left there without any hesitation. I packed up everything and I drove out. Don't you say what? Drove around by where Burger King is now,
Mm-hmm.
onto the highway, and I saw the coconut vendors there, and I literally pulled off the side of the highway, right in the spot that I am at right now.
Yes.
And ever since, that was the location. Like I was not sure where I was going, but I just drove, and they parked right there, and I say, "You, this is the spot, boy." And ever since I was there, and obviously as time goes on, I will speak to you about the Woyle experience, which
Yeah.
caused me to gather a bigger clientele.
In fact, you can
So
go right
that's it in a
into it.
nutshell.
So
Go right into it. So
yeah.
in fast forward to 2018 now, I was selected to be a part of the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative that recruits entrepreneurs from across Latin America and the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
and we are mentored by an established company in America. So we were split into different states, and I was in Portland, Oregon,
Ah, yes.
and I was mentored by a wonderful business lady who is now my friend, a lady by the name of Lisa Herlinger,
Mm-hmm.
and she's the owner of one of the biggest ice cream companies in Portland, called Ruby Jewel,
How was
and they
that?
make ice cream. Yeah, they make ice cream sandwiches, and she has a mobile unit as well, and she's in almost all the stores. And I was so grateful for the opportunity to be mentored by her and her entire team, because they basically took me in as their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they showed me everything. I sat in meetings that I should not probably have been in, you know.
Uh-huh.
So it was a very fantastic experience. And after that, now coming back home, she was my mentor, and she held me accountable to all the goals that I would have set back then. And I did almost everything that I should have done, and the businesses grew. And obviously, word of mouth um, was a contributing factor to the growth of the business as well too. So right now, everybody is requesting the popcorn man in their office. So yeah, that's the entire story in a nutshell. As to the start, the beginning, the times where I could not figure out how to make this popcorn, to not being the popcorn man that has over 7 flavors of popcorn now.
Yeah, a perfect example of failing forward. You
Yeah, boy.
got
Let me tell you.
training on the job.
Oh yeah,
And
trial and
now,
error.
yes, might I say the popcorn does taste really good. So
I
you
appreciate
can
that.
go out and eat some of the popcorn over there.
You don't have to be afraid, guys. That was in the past.
They're good. They're good. RET. So
Oh
that's
man.
on that side of the business. However,
Mm.
you're also into music. Where did this love for music start?
Shanice girl, the truth is, right, I was always around music, and because of my brother, I love music. That's the truth. He was the he was a music person in the house, and it wasn't always gospel music.
Mhm.
A lot of it was reggae. That's all. And I grew up listening to Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, Bob Marley, um, who else? Half Point, Kennesaw, Ika Mouse, like all these old veterans in reggae and dancehall. So that was the foundation. And as I grew older, I had my own taste for music. So I was heavy into trance music. It was so strange. Like in secondary school, I just loved trance music. But the thing about trance music, right, is that it, it does just that. It puts you in a trance. So your mind is deep into the music and away from all the worries of the world, right? But it's heavy, heavy electronic. And from there, it was dubstep. And then I grew fond of chill step, which is a nicer version to dubstep. It's not as heavy and, pounding. And then I discovered Afro beats, and that caused me to really get really into music because I started to create music for a long time, Shanice. I was making music for my own personal entertainment for a while. And then I remember hearing a sermon I would never forget about the talents. And if you read the story of the talents, the guy who had one talent came back and said, Master, here's my talent. I hid it. And Jesus said, you foolish man. And he said, well, if God give me I translate talents into gift. If God gives me a gift, then I should use it for the honor and glory of his name because he gave it to me. And there's a reason he gave it to me, So my debut single was called Rise Up, and that was on a Afro beat. And ever since, I was just making music, putting it out. Obviously, it was not a professional producer. I was just doing it because I loved it. Just do it. So some of the mixes may sound real crappy. They're still on YouTube, so you can listen to them. But
Yeah.
I just love music, so I just kept on doing it and kept on putting out songs. And I have released about, I was told, because I wasn't keeping track, about 14 songs from 2017 to now. Yeah.
So tell our viewers where it is that they can find you if they want to look for you on IG or YouTube or anywhere.
Yeah, so on Facebook, you can find me at Phillip K Music. On Instagram, is Phillip K_music. And YouTube is Phillip Kellman.
Okay, so you should definitely check him out. He does have some really good songs. And what would be your advice to prospective entrepreneurs?
Just do it.
Like,
yeah, Nike slogan, just do it. Yeah, it may sound very cliche, but the truth is, if you have a dream that stays in your head, it will be that and nothing else. Just a dream. And the only way you can find out if it would work is to do it. I would always also advise any entrepreneur to do it for a reason, do it for a cause. My aim for this business is not to just benefit me as the business owner, but to be a plug for charities, for movements that are edifying or that would enhance or build up my community. So don't let's do it to make money, because money is not the answer. The truth is, right, there were several times that the business made good money, but it was never driven by we met because of the money, boy. Let me go again. It was just a love for it. It was just a love to create new flavors and to make people happy. The music was a reward for that, for the work and for the love. But if you do something that you enjoy, then it wouldn't feel like work. It wouldn't feel like a job, like, oh, I gotta go to work now. It would just feel like something that you enjoy doing and you just so happen to be paid for it. So yeah, that would be my advice.
All right. So there you have it. And you're into feeding the stomach with your popcorn and
Yeah.
feeding the soul with music. All
Music.
right.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. So I want you to tell me about an issue, whether it's current or something that you would have seen going on for a while within our country or
Mm.
across the world that you feel strongly about.
Hmm.
And yeah, let's tell us about.
What has been heavy on my heart recently, and I've been observing it for a while, is this trend for war music.
Mhm,
You may have heard on the radio or on YouTube these artists, talented young men,
mhm,
who are just singing about war and killing, and it is now a trend. It's now a thing to sing about shooting a man or gunning down somebody, and it is unsettling because
mhm,
the youth are feeding on this thing, and whatever you feed your mind, you become. And is unfortunate on the part of musicians and entertainers who have a big responsibility, who are influential in the lives of so many young people, young impressionable minds, and this is all that they can find or muster up to sing about.
mhm,
Um, it's troubling. It's troubling. It's something that we need to look into seriously. If you go, I'm actually gonna make a little plug here.
mhm,
Go to Echo Nation, EKCO Nation, and they it's a charity right now. It's been registered as a charity, and they promote positive music, positive things for the kingdom, the edification of the kingdom of God. And if you go on their page, they have tips on how social media can influence the minds of the youth, how music can impact us as human
mhm,
beings. Um, and I just want to encourage, this is another plug, all of the young, talented musicians and artists. Your words are meaningful to the lives of so many. And there's a testimony by DJ Nicholas, right? He said when he was younger, if Bob Marley said to bend down low, he would literally bend down. Right? That's how strong music
mhm.
is on us as human beings, right? So if you keep on feeding, you can shoot a man and they can retaliate, and whoever violate can get gunshot. That is going to be the reality of many young people here in Barbados and across the globe, as a matter of fact. So sing positive songs. Don't sing songs that will degrade young women. That's another thing too. Or don't sing songs that would promote violence. Um, but yeah, that is troubling me, and I would say that I am releasing a song very soon, and it's called Dark Side, and it is speaking about that very same thing. So look out for that.
Can we get a sneak peek or should we wait?
Um, can I give you a sneak peek? I gotta give you a break. Gunshot boy dead, whole body full of lead. The culprit is not a man, no, but it is a song instead. Now every thought red, and all the youth them dead. Poison coming to the air, slowly injected in the hearts of my people. Now producing all kind of evil. Forgiveness now that the very. So that's a sneak peek. Can you hear that?
Yes, yes, I heard it. I heard it. I heard it.
Oh, good.
Sounding good. All right,
So yeah,
guys,
that's
you heard
a
it here
sneak
first.
peek.
Yes, you heard it here
You see,
first.
yeah, you did. First.
All right, so I was going to ask you another question about what you were saying about the sounds. What do you think that this new trend with the whole war song, if it is
Hmm.
highlighting things that go on around us, or if it is influencing? But based upon your what you've said, and to a lot of things that we see, I guess we can see that there's a very great influence because
Hmm.
the young persons are looking up to many of these celebrities as role models. And
Correct, correct.
you could say even in the smallest thing with a celebrity change the color of their hair or change their hairstyle, all of a
Everybody had
sudden,
changed
yeah,
now.
it's a fad.
It's true.
So
Very true.
yeah, it's all around, and even sometimes you will pass. Sometimes I hear little children, and like sometimes they say the darnest things, and just out of the blue, somebody will say, snitches get stitches, and then
Mm-hmm.
inform and all this. Let's see,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
okay.
Yep.
But yeah, I do think that persons with a platform need to be careful in what they say and do because there are
For
others
sure.
watching. And as you said, they're very malleable minds out there. You
Correct,
know,
correct, correct.
so guys, just be careful of what you put out there because you're accountable. You're accountable to those
Correct.
persons that are listening to you, and you owe it to them, and you owe it to yourself and your community. To put out positive things.
Correct,
Play
correct.
more
We have a
positive music.
responsibility.
Yes.
Yes. We have a responsibility as artists. Visual, um, performing artists, we have a responsibility because it was said that the creatives will begin to rule the world. And I wouldn't even say to begin. We have been um, influencing the world for many years.
Mhm.
Um, take for example, let's look at Rihanna. She's a perfect example of a highly influential person, right? Rihanna has made a mark for herself, right? She has put out a lot of music and she's now into fashion and makeup and that kind of thing. But Rihanna, even if Rihanna says a song that goes like this, I want 4 buckets, give me 4 buckets. It does not have to make sense, Shanice. Everybody around the world will begin to say, I want 4 buckets. And they don't know why.
Exactly.
But the truth is, it's because Rihanna sing it. Rihanna sing it, so it hard. You know, right now Rihanna did a song. She was featured on a track, right? Um, and the song is so big, but she ain't really sing a lot. She ain't sing much on it. But the fact that Rihanna's voice is on this track was a big deal. So yeah, we have a big responsibility, and we need to understand that and be mindful of that, and take it serious.
Yeah, that's very true. All right.
Yes.
So my next question is this. So what are your long term goals? Well,
Mm.
in terms of where do you see your business going? What's next for Philip?
Right. So I am known as the popcorn man.
Mhm.
That's the truth. But I don't want to be known as the popcorn man forever. Not saying that I'm going to end the business, but I want to expand the business, and a part of expanding is delegating tasks to people. A part of growing the business is employing people, right? And I want the Island Corn brand to be known for producing quality popcorn across the island, um, for parties, weddings, your office. I want to be the go-to snack. Before you get to the vending machine, I want you to call the Island Corn or send a message and order the Island Corn. Um, in terms of music now, I desire to tour. That's a dream of mine, to tour. I've gotten the chance to perform different places here in Barbados, but I want to tour the world now to spread the message of Jesus across the globe. And it doesn't have to be. I'm not putting any limits on it.
Mhm.
Wherever God desires for me to go, I'm gonna go. Just again, like Moses. I'm not going back to Moses again. If wherever he desires for me to go, I go in, but he must be there with me, you know. So yeah,
Right. So for you then, having said that, how would you define success?
success. If somebody can benefit from the things that I do, or lives are positively impacted by the things that I say, I feel that is success. Success is doing what you said you would do, doing it, and allowing God to do the rest. Right? Yeah, doing exactly what God said to you to do, and you do it to the best of your ability. I think that is success, because we may define success as, all right, you get 1 million views on YouTube, so you must be successful. But if I produce a song and the song has 50 views and 5 people are saved because of that, sorry, I feel as though I've accomplished a big set. So yeah, that's my definition of success.
Alrighty. So who would you say is, one of your biggest role models?
One of would be my brother, like I mentioned before, because he was one of the reasons that I'm so heavy into music. And my mother as well. My mother, because she showed me what strength really is.
Mhm.
She's been through a lot, and I look up to her for being such a strong person, and a single mother who raised 2 fine young gentlemen. That's him up there. Oh, I thought it was him away. Who raised 2 fine young gentlemen, and who are still walking upright and in the fear of God.
Good. And now,
Yeah.
just in closing,
Mm.
what would be your parting words? Not be killing you or anything, but what would be what would be some advice that you have for young person out there, any young person?
Any young person. Jesus. um, no, if you truly seek, you will find him. You will find the answers to every problem you have. That is the truth. You will have a new life. You would have a refreshing life in him. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And the things that we go through here on earth are temporary. Um, if you have that in your mind, then your perspective towards business, towards music, towards anything would be changed. Because if you know that you're doing it for the honor and glory of the King, then the passion and the zeal would always be there, because you know that this is the purpose and God's will for your life. Um, so yeah, put your full trust in Jesus, and you would not be disappointed. I guarantee you.
All right, so those are some very encouraging words. And we just want to encourage you, go out, check him out. He's on Facebook, IG, YouTube, Phillip K,
Yes.
Phillip Kellman. And, when everything opens back up, pop by, invite some friends, and check out the Island Coin.
Correct. To the Ellen Coin.
Yeah. Alrighty. So,
Wonderful.
Phillip, it has been a pleasure having you on Conversations today. And we learned
Thanks for
a
having me.
lot about you. And I hope that you had a good time.
I did. It was fantastic.
Big up, man.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of Conversations. And we hope that you were truly inspired by our featured guests. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with friends and family. Be blessed.